All right, in this lesson, we're going to be looking at logarithmic inverses. So to find a logarithmic inverse, it's the same steps as finding the inverse of any function. So to go back over those steps, to find the inverse of a function, first thing you want to do is, if it's set up, the equation is written in function notation, you want to change the f of x to y. Once you've changed the f of x to y, you're going to interchange the x and the y, or the independent and dependent variables. And then you're going to solve for the new y, or new dependent variable. Once you solve for the new y, you're going to replace that y with f inverse of x. All right, so for this first example, first thing, we don't need to change the y to f of x because it's already written with y. So we're going to interchange the x and the y and then start to solve for the y. So I'm just going to switch the sides of the equation so that the log's on the left side, and then put this in exponential form since the variable that I'm solving for is in the exponent. So I start with the base of the logarithm, 3 to the x power equals 5 to the y power. All right, and then now I'm going to go ahead and switch the sides of the equation again because the variable that I'm trying to solve for is still in the exponent. So I'm going to write this exponent in logarithmic form now. Start with the base of the logarithm, so log base 5 of 3 to the x power equals y. Log base 5 of 3 to the x power equals y. And then when we solve for y, we're just going to lastly replace the y with f inverse of x. In the next example, again, we can go ahead and start by interchanging the x and the y since we already have a y written instead of f of x. And then start to isolate the term that has the variable in it that we're solving for. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2, and then I'm going to switch the sides of the equation and then put this in logarithmic form since I'm trying to solve for the y in the exponent. So log base 4 of 2x equals y. Log base 4 of 2x equals y. And now that we've solved for y, we just replace the y with f inverse of x. And then lastly, again, just interchange the x and y and begin to solve for your y by multiplying both sides by 3. I'm going to switch the two sides of the equation. You don't have to, but I like my exponent or my logarithm to be on the left side. And then I just want a positive on the left side, so I'm going to divide both sides by -1 or multiply both sides by -1. And then now I'm going to put this in logarithmic form. It's in exponential form right now. I'm going to put it in logarithmic form by taking the log base e of -3x, and that's going to equal y. Log base e of -3x equals y. And then just change the log base e to ln and replace the y with f inverse of x.